Now, although the pop culture landscape is catching up with the times when it comes to gay marriage, but there's still a lot to be learned when it comes to non-heterosexual orientation and gender identity.
That's right. To help people create a possibility for understanding, our next guest compiled The Human Agenda, and it's a book of conversations about this very complex topic. Jo Wenke is an LGBTQI rights activist. Tell us, many of course know the LGBT, but what is the QI?
Yeah, that is a mouthful to be sure. So the LGBTQI is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex. And I'm kind of hoping that we all can agree on one word to describe everybody, and I think my book is saying maybe that word is human.
That's fair to say. So I think when we talk about gender identity, people have a grasp on it, but you say that's really not the case.
Well, I think most people think of gender in biological terms. So, you know, like you're born, doctor takes a look at you, and in most cases says, hey, that's a boy, that's a girl. But gender identity is really how we experience and communicate gender. So for most people, the two are pretty much aligned. But for some people, there's a variance, and those people call themselves transgender. So in other words, you're born a boy, identify as a girl, born a girl, identify as a boy.
So this is interesting. In your book, you kind of have a compilation of stories from people who are homosexual, heterosexual, transgender, but again, you're sort of relating the whole message that, you know, there's fewer differences. We're all more alike than we are different in the book.
Right. Well, I wanted to do a book on sexual orientation and gender identity for a long time, and like a lot of people, I'm concerned that we're becoming increasingly polarized. So yeah, we've made a lot of progress, particularly on marriage equality, but these two topics still divide a lot of people. So I was thinking, how could I approach it in a way that maybe finds some common ground, says we're all the same, and I thought, why not just have conversations like you guys do every day? People tell stories about themselves, talk about our dreams, our aspirations, our professional goals, and then maybe that will really communicate that we're more similar than different, and then maybe we can celebrate our differences. That's really the point of the book.
And Joe, I'm sure you had to do interviews and conduct research. Did anything surprise you when you were putting the book together?
Well, what really struck me was, again, fundamentally how we're all the same, but I was really struck by just the diversity of these people. So, for example, Why Love sort of personifies this. He's African-American, Jewish, gay, and a hip-hop artist. And I also...
That's quite the mix, huh?
That is quite a mix. And I also want to give a shout out to Dr. John Allen, who's based here in New Haven. He was the founder, is the founder of the Rainbow Support Group, and that includes people who are intellectually disabled but are part of the LGBT community, and we had a wonderful conversation with them.
And you have an upcoming event at UConn, is it? Or?
Yeah, I'm a graduate. That's where I got my PhD, and I'll be up there at the end of April talking about my books, my writing, both The Human Agenda and my novel, The Talk Show.
Where do you see the future of this topic going? Or this topic going over the next few years?
I think we're at a point of tolerance. That's the whole marriage equality thing, where people are increasingly saying, well, yeah, you have a right to marry whoever you want. But beyond that, there's acceptance. Even there's a kind of condescension, like, well, I accept you. So, you know, be happy about that. Ultimately, what I'm looking for is for people to say, we're all equal, we're all the same, and to celebrate that.
Very good. And where can we find your book, Joe?
It's everywhere. It's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, on my website, jowenke.org.
Very good. We'll check
Pick
it
it
out
up.
there.
Thank
Thank you
you
so much for being here.